Hi, I'm Amy Silvers, Administrative Coordinator with iDaph Events, and I have with me Daphne Kirkwood, owner of iDaph and race director, and we would like to welcome you to the 2022 Asheville Off-Road Series podcast.
Yes, welcome everybody. We have tons of stuff to talk about today, so we're just going to dive right into things. Lots of things to share that are new this year. So hopefully you can tune in either audio on podcast or on YouTube video and just tune in a little bit because I think it'll really help you on race day to come in stress-free and have a great experience.
And I'm excited. This is going to be my first time with this event, and I'm excited to get to Ride Kanuga. And I understand it happened there last year, and it went fantastic. Everybody loved the new venue. So tell us how this race came about and the updates for this year.
Yeah, so originally this race started in Asheville at the Biltmore Estate is where it used to be held. And when the pandemic hit and they weren't permitting events anymore, we wanted to still be able to offer this fantastic, really unique multi-sport event series. And so we moved it to Ride Kanuga, just outside of Asheville in Hendersonville. And it was a great event last year. And so we've just built upon that and looking forward to our second time being there.
Awesome. So the race is in Hendersonville. Is it on Ride Kanuga property, or where do the races start and finish exactly?
Yeah, so Ride Kanuga has been there a few years. It's by the Kanuga Conference Center. It's not on the Conference Center property. It's the opposite side of the road. But they do lease the land from the conference center. So some of that, land is going to be used. The bike part just starts and finishes at Ride Kanuga. It's not on any of their bike park areas. So it's not a trail race. The bike is really road and gravel dirt. That's the surface. So not trails, not on the bike park. The run, however, is all on Ride Kanuga's property. So even though Ride Kanuga, caters to cyclists and biking, it's really fun to be able to actually run on their courses that they have already set up. And so we will use both sides of the road for the run course, but it's mainly on trail. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but the run is completely on the property. Does that help? Does that explain that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay. And what time do the races start?
8 o'clock. I think we do have them, I believe we have them a couple minutes apart just because of, the runners taking off versus the bikers. And so we'll give that instruction right before the event, but everybody just needs to be ready and there at 8 a.m.
Okay. And we typically have a charity partner or a nonprofit partner for each of our events. Who are we working with this year?
Same as last year, St. Baldrick's, which is a children's cancer foundation. There's a local, I don't know if you call it a branch or a segment in Brevard in Transylvania County of the organization. And we partnered with them last year. The mission of their organization is just incredible to help, families who are going through the cancer journey that happens to their children. And they just support and help them and provide all kinds of things that families might need during that journey. So they're incredible, and we're so happy to be able to help support them again this year. Lots of the folks out there on the courses will be their volunteers. We also have a new Weekend Warrior giveaway that we're offering. And so if you register for the ride, and you win, you'll get your entry fee back, and you'll also win an entry to give your friend for this year. And then we have this that was locally made. It's super cool. It says Asheville Off-Road Series. You can hang things on it, your keys or whatever at your door, but this is super cool. That's part of the package. There's all kinds of other things. It's to enter, you just have to give us your contact information. And then if you want to increase your chances to win all of the prize package worth $700, you can give a donation to St. Baldrick's, and you will get more chances to win. So that is until September 12th. That's next Monday, the 12th at noon. And so definitely, let's support St. Baldrick's as much as we possibly can. That's new. And then you can always donate to St. Baldrick's online through Race Roster. It's really easy to give to them. And we will have some beer this year. And so bring cash to give them a donation when you stop by, and you get a beer after the event. And if you don't drink, that's fine. You can stop by, visit them, and just give them a donation if you want to. They're incredible. And they also have somebody who is part of the organization and being supported by them, who will be at the race, either participating or volunteering, a family. So that'll be really neat to have them there too. And we feature them on our blog if you want to check them out. So yeah, so very cool.
Great. Yeah, very awesome. Okay. So what can people expect on race weekend? Like packet pickup, let's talk about packet pickup, registration. How does all that work?
Yeah, so we've been offering the ship swag option now for a couple years. That happened with COVID, and people, just wanted to come into the event and didn't want to have to mess with packet pickup. And so people have loved it, and we continue to do that. It's a lot of work, right? To pull it off.
Yes, it is.
But we're here really to create a great experience for people from start to finish. We want that to be great for our participants. And so it's worth the effort, we feel like, to do this. And so was it a third of the participants opted in for this year? Yeah.
Yes. When we pulled the numbers at that time, we had almost a third who had opted to do that. It's just so convenient. I mean,
it is.
You just get there and you're ready to go.
It is. Yep. So, we will have, we've shipped a bunch out, and we do still have packet pickup on Saturday, September 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. and it's inside the shop at Ride Kanuga. It's a great opportunity if you didn't do the event last year, even if you did, because there's been a lot that's changed there on the property, for you to come out and sort of check things out ahead of time. You won't really be able to go and run the trail or anything like that because the bike park is still open. And because bikes and runners aren't going to mix well on their property, but you could still walk around and check things out ahead of time if you wanted to. So, and then if they don't pick up on Saturday, if you don't pick up, you didn't get your stuff mailed. Amy, what time is packet pickup on Sunday morning before
6:30 to 7:30, and that will be also inside the shop there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And so can folks register? Can they still register on race weekend?
Yeah, I mean, they can register all the way up until that 7:30 a.m. cutoff time. But as we know, people that show up and then are frantically stressed and trying to register on their phones, it can be really stressful. So what do you think about, what should people do for if they are waiting?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to do it ahead of time on your phone. The registration process is the same whether you do it on your phone, on your computer at home, or in person. It's the same all the way around. So you're going to have to go through the same process regardless. And it just eliminates that stress, or, having to stand in line, missing the start, it just go ahead and do that ahead of time is the best option.
Agreed. All right.
Yeah.
And then,
And
yeah, go ahead.
And I know that, so this is my first experience with the 2 different bib thing. So we have 2 different bibs. We have a race number and we have the bike number. So explain how that works and what they do with those.
Yeah. So, the Tyvek bib, is for folks to put on their body, and then there's a thicker number and that goes on the bike. You can use a zip tie to put that on the bike, or we will have some twisty ties at packet pickup that you can pick up and put that number on the front of your bike. But the Tyvek bib or race number goes on your back. And that's for all the events. Yeah. And then as far as the timing chip, it is on that race number, the Tyvek race number. If you're doing a duathlon team, you're going to get an ankle band to put on your ankle. So that's a little bit different if you're doing the team, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. And we have 2 gravel grinder races, 2 different distances. What if someone wants to switch? What if mid-race they decide, well, I signed up for the 40 miler and I think I just want to do the 20 miler. Can they do that in the middle of the race?
It's highly discouraged. If they do, they will not be scored. So you really need to make that decision ahead of time. It really messes things up with timing if you don't do the whole thing. If you do come in early and you haven't done the whole event, please let us know in the timing area so that we can take you out of the results. Otherwise, it's going to mess up the whole thing for everyone. If you think you've got lost and you didn't do the whole route, please also let us know that as well. We have no tolerance for cheating and cheaters in our events. And a lot of this is on honor system, even though we have the timing chips and stuff. When you're out there, there's a million ways that you could cut off the course, but you're just cheating yourself. And this is fun. It's not the Olympics. It's, it is a race, but it's fun. So you won't be happy with yourself if you make the decision to cheat. And if we find out, it's just not fun for anyone. So I don't expect that to happen. It hasn't been an issue at this event, but I just wanted to mention it because, let's all just do it right and do it the right way.
Absolutely. Okay. So when they get there, where do people park?
Yeah, so if you did the ride or the events last year, a lot of people mainly parked at Camp Kanuga, unless you were in the duathlon. The duathlon folks all parked at Ride Kanuga because the transition zone was at their car. This year, they've sort of redone Ride Kanuga in a lot of different ways. And so there is more parking available because of how we've made some changes to the event this year, which we'll talk about. And so people can all park at Ride Kanuga if they want to. Just keep in mind, if you want to leave before the last folks come in, before the award ceremonies, you really just want to do your race and leave, I would not suggest parking at Ride Kanuga. I would suggest you park at the camp at the conference center, which will have signs up for that. That's where people parked last year, because it's going to be hard for you to get out of Ride Kanuga. There's one way in, one way out. while the race is happening. It just will take you a while. It might be frustrating. You're going to have to wait on people and be stopped. And so just for the ease of getting in and out, if you plan to just race and leave, park it at the Camp Kanuga. And if you plan to just stick around, hang out, have fun with this afterwards, park at Ride Kanuga. Same for spectators. Same applies to them.
Okay. All right. Can folks get dropped off? Can someone drop off a participant with their stuff?
There's really not a great way to do that. So, folks really need to park and then unload, especially duathlon. It's a multi-sport race, so you're going to have stuff with you. So, even if you're in the duathlon, you need to have somebody park, whether it's at the camp. That's probably the easiest if you're wanting to be dropped off. The camp parking lot at camp, conference center camp. And that would just be the easiest way for somebody to just quickly park, have somebody unload, and then you come over to Ride Kanuga. And they're, the easiest way to get over to Ride Kanuga from the camp, the conference center parking area. There's some trails, connector trails that'll take you over. You can do the road, but the road is going to have cars coming in and out for the race. So just be patient. It's a congested area. Again, dropping off's not super easy, but if you have to do it that way, I would say park at the camp.
Gotcha. Okay, good to know. All right. What's happening on race morning that folks need to know about? I'm always looking for caffeine to fuel up. Do we have anything like that?
Yes, we'll have Dan with Bare Bones Brewhouse. He will have his coffee cart out there. So bring some cash, support him and him getting up at the crack of dawn to be there to give you coffee. We'll have Sycamore Cycles doing on-site bike checks, and daily bike repair will also be there as well. So you can stop by, if you want them to go through your gears or check your air pressure or something like that. So just leave yourself plenty of time in the morning. I think it does start at 8 a.m. And so, some people try to wait to the very last minute to get up and get going. But it's going to take you a little bit. So, know that when you get there, you can have your cup of coffee, and there's restrooms and stuff like that.
Good. Okay. All right. And what are our courses like? What can they expect for the courses?
Yeah, so we'll go into a little more depth for each of them, throughout our podcast. But, like I mentioned before, the bike is road, gravel, dirt, surface, and it goes from, Ride Kanuga through Hendersonville area. It goes through a camp, Tonawanda, and then over to Lake Summit if you're doing the 42 miler. The 42 miler is it's challenging. People are like, oh, it's only 42 miles. It's a challenging 42 miles. There's quite a bit of climbing on it. The 25 doesn't do that full route. It skips the Camp Tonawanda, lake, some of the lake area, and comes back towards Ride Kanuga and does Etowah. So it's just an easier, quote unquote, option. It's not easy, but it's easier. Probably has more pavement on it than the 42 mile. And then the 13-mile duathlon bike is, probably more pavement than it is dirt gravel for sure. So, more people could probably get away with a road bike with a thicker tire for that one, less gnarly surfaces, that sort of thing. And it does, a pretty basic loop around the Ride Kanuga area and comes back there. And you have your run to do as well. The run courses are, like I said, all at Ride Kanuga and the conference center property. They're different than last year. And the area, none of the routes are closed to traffic. I mean, the run is primarily on single track trails. And so, I think that was one of the questions we were getting, is like the whole course closed to traffic. And no, unfortunately, we can't close the bike course down on a Sunday morning for, 4 to 5 hours to cars. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. And so talk about the bike courses.
Yeah, so Reed Belani, he owns Fit by Reed. He's also a CTS, Carmichael Training Systems coach. He does bike fitting. So if you are in the market to get fitted on your bike and you need help, he is great. Bike fitter. He's also a cycling coach, and he designed the courses last year. And so they, people really liked them. And so we've kept those. They're on Ride with GPS. Those have been emailed out to all the participants. They'll also be on the event guide as well. And so, the biggest thing I would say is watch for the signs. Watch for the course markings. And if you have, a GPS device that you can download the route, I would download the route. And even if you want to drive part of it ahead of time, some of the sections that are on Pace Mountain are really tough to drive. So you might want to skip that part. But checking things out ahead of time is not a bad idea. That's why there was a course recon last weekend that Reed did with a group for this race. But, sometimes you get in a group of cyclists and you just sort of get lulled into the racing and being with the people that you're with, and you think, oh, well, I'm with them, so they must know where we're going. And that's not necessarily the case. And that's what happened last year to a group of people that just thought the person on the front knew where he was going because he was just pounding away, saw a course marking on the left side of the road on the return trip, because they do a big loop around Lake Summit, saw that on the left and was like, oh, I guess we turn here. Even though the marking was straight ahead, they saw on the left side that there was a marking. So pay attention to the markings. The 42 mile will be marked in pink. The 25 mile is marked in yellow. The 13 mile bike is marked in orange, and the run course will have very limited markings. But if there's any on the pavement or anything, it would be green. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of signs that we put up for this one. And so, take that second to see what the sign says. Even if we have volunteers there might be a course split that you need to know about. And so you have to pay attention, let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, the descriptions are on the website for all the routes. So check those out.
Okay. And I know that we've had a lot of rain recently. Are there any areas on the course that are rougher or in worse shape than they were last year at this time?
Yeah, so Reed went out with the CTS group last weekend, and they said that around the South Lake Summit Road, there's some sections that have some washout that's a little bit more challenging than it was last year. And then Pace Mountain Road up at the state line area is rougher than last year as well. So just keep that in mind. I don't think it means necessarily that you have to have a mountain bike for it, but I would definitely, slow it down and just be aware that there's some sections that are going to be a little more gnarly than last year.
Okay. And I'm a runner, not a cyclist, not yet anyway. I know you guys are working on me, but it would be my luck to get out there and have a flat tire or some sort of something mechanical issue with my bike. So what happens if I get out there and something like that happens?
Yeah, so number one, always come prepared to fix your own flat tire. So, watch a YouTube video if you don't know how to do that. Practice before you get there. I would not be reliant on, our SAG support. We will have them out there, yes, but it's a very expansive footprint that they're running on. And with 3 different bike routes, it's a lot of different sections for them to be out there too. So bring some of your own tools and stuff to change flats. We will have ham operators out there assisting with SAG, as well as the communication, since there's some remote areas that don't have the best cell service. Definitely take a cell phone. Just so you have that. And if you have to walk with your bike to a section to call for SAG help, do that. But try to be as self-sufficient as possible. Get your bike tuned up, checked out ahead of time before race morning. We will have Sycamore Cycles, like I said, and Daily Cycle mobile bicycle repair there to check things out. But if you need an overhaul or, you need a lot done to your bike, please don't rely on them to do that right before the race. We saw some
Definitely not.
at one of the events this summer. I can't remember which one it was, but their whole bike needed a major tune-up. And the mechanic was like, I hope you can make it through this. So get your bike checked out ahead of time. We got great bike shops in town, and Sycamore Cycles is in Hendersonville and Brevard. You can take your stuff over there, let them know you're part of the race, and they can do that for you. The SAG phone number, just so you have it, it will be in the event guide too, but I would take a second to jot this down, put it in your phone. It's 828-329-8863. If there's an emergency that you see out on the route, call 911. They are aware that the race is happening, and somebody will come out and assist. If something major happens and you need attention. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about the run course for the duathlon. It's new this year, right?
Yeah, so we don't have the 5-mile trail running race this year. We just didn't get the participation that we had anticipated last year for it. So we don't have that. So since we don't have it, I decided, hey, let's change up the running course a little bit, because Ride Kanuga has new trails out there that are really pretty awesome. And I wanted people to be able to run in some of their bike park areas more than they did last year. So it's a 2.5-mile run. It's the same route both times for the duathlon. It's mostly single track. The run with GPS map and route is going to be super difficult for you to use to go out and try to check it out ahead of time. When I went and did the route a couple weeks ago, and ran it through the whole time, it was, the GPS keeps going in and out just because the reception is so bad. And so, it's one of those things too, that Ride Kanuga is a bike park, and they don't really, allow runners to be out there checking out those trails because they have bike operations. So really it's going to be a surprise for everybody. Surprises are fun. And I think it's a great loop. It's a really interesting trail race, mixture of single track, and it does have some routes. It is technical, not super technical, course. There's might be some muddy spots because of all the rain. There is some grass sections. There's some sections that are very smoothed and groomed on the Ride Kanuga bike park area. So yeah, you get all the different off-road surfaces for this one. Some gravel, some dirt. It's pretty cool.
Okay. And we did receive a message, an email, someone asking about the best type of shoes to wear for this run. Or would you recommend road shoes, trail shoes? What would you recommend for that?
Yeah, I think a sturdier trail running shoe is probably going to be the best bet, and not a racing flat for this one. Just because of all the different surfaces that I just mentioned. It's beautiful, it's amazing, but it's challenging. And I would say for your ankles and for your feet, probably a sturdier shoe is going to be the trick. If you don't have a trail shoe, a road shoe would be good if it has some support to it.
Okay. And I saw that last year the duathlon participants parked in a field and their transition zone was at their car. Is that the same situation this year?
No, it's not. We've moved the transition. Transition is for the duathlon. And typically a transition zone it's sort of a rectangular shape with an opening on both ends of a transition zone, and we put bike racks in there. We didn't do that for this race because of COVID last year. And so we are gonna set up bike racks this year. It'll be more in the main race hub area next to the start and finish. So folks will need to park in the general parking area and then bring all of your things that you want in the transition area, your bike, your running gear, your nutrition, hydration, all of those things to transition and set that up before the race.
Okay, so leave plenty of time to get that taken care of. Allow yourself plenty of time.
Absolutely. I would leave at least 20 to 30 minutes to get transition set up for yourself. Time to run back to your car if you forgot something. So just for setting up transition alone, I would give yourself 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay. So the duathlon is multi-sport. So because you have the bike and the run, it's a little different than the 2 gravel grinder races. So talk about logistics for those.
Yeah, so duathlon, that we got the race numbers we talked about already. So you have to have that on. That's your timing chip. So that's super, important that you have that. And then as far as the race itself, you run first. So you'll start with the run. And then once you're finished with the run, you will run into transition, and we'll have signs that say run in. You run into transition on the back side of transition zone. Then you will go to your bike rack. You'll grab your helmet, your bike shoes. Hopefully you already have stuff on your bike as far as, what you want for hydration. And then you will run out the front with your bike of the transition area until you get to the mount line. At the mount line is where you will get on your bike and head out on the bike route. For the duathlon bike, there's not a water station on the bike course. It's only for the 42-mile folks. So just keep that in mind, to have your own nutrition and drink and stuff on the bike. And then once you get back from the bike, then you bring your bike back into the front of transition where you went out on the bike, and you put your bike back up on the rack and then get ready for the run.
Okay, and then we run again. Okay, so
Yeah.
we run, we bike, and we run again.
Yeah.
And then
And just so you know, for the runners, you keep that bib on, the duathlon folks, you keep that bib on the whole time. That has your timing chip. There's going to be mats on both sides of the transition. And, if you want to have your own hydration, they have handheld water devices at Fleet Feet. So you can stop by there and grab one of those if you feel like you're going to need more than just at the one water station that we have on the run course.
All right. And new this year, we have a team, by request, of course, we have a team duathlon. I'm really excited to see this. I know one participant had originally registered for one of the I can't remember whether he was with the gravel grinder or the duathlon, but when he found out about it, he wanted to redo his registration and do the team duathlon so he could do it with his girlfriend. He was really excited that they both can, one bikes, one run, and it's something exciting that they can do together now. So tell us a little bit about this new option.
Yeah, so we've actually had the team component before COVID. We took it away with COVID and, just trying to minimize the interaction between people and touch points. But we decided, with the request that we're coming in to bring it back. And so it's 2-person teams. So we're expecting it to be somebody who is a runner and somebody who is a cyclist. It could be a multi-sport person who just picks one or the other, but 2-person team. How it works basically is the runner runs, the biker is in transition while the runner is out running at the bike rack. And the runner will come into the transition area and see their friend or family member at the bike rack, and they will take off the ankle band that's on their ankle. That's their timing chip. It's has a Velcro, and their friend will put that on their ankle before they leave transition. And the runner does not have to take off the run number because the biker will have the bike number on their bike already. Okay. The biker will go out the front of transition, do the whole bike course, come back into transition, and that runner will be at the transition area at the bike rack waiting for their friend or family member. And the biker will take off the ankle band off their ankle, and the runner will put it on their ankle and run out the back of transition and do that second run and then come into the finish. So the runner wears that Tyvek race number and the biker has the thicker race number on the front of their bike.
Okay, got it. I think you covered all the questions on that one.
Good.
Let's talk about music. I love to run with music. It sounds like with the different events and the traffic and volunteers, maybe course marshals, that you're really going to need to hear. So probably it's best to leave the music at home with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a music lover when I exercise and stuff, but for this one, it's just, there's a lot going on. Just leave the music at home, soak in the trail, the runners, the experience, cheer each other on, and just, leave the music at home this time. It's safer.
Okay. An all important question, where are the restrooms located?
Yes, we'll have porta-johns near the parking areas. We will also have them at the start finish. We will have them at the rest stop along the 42-mile course as well. So that should cover, most of the needs for folks. And so that's where you can find them.
All right. And what about water stations and rest stops?
Yeah, so we'll have a water station about halfway through the run at the grass field where the duathlon folks parked last year. So down in that area, that's going to be managed by McHone Performance Training. And then the 42-mile bike has a rest stop. The other two, the 12 and the 25, don't have a rest stop. The 42 does, and that's at Camp Green Cove at their back entrance around Lake Summit, and that's managed by Green Moose Fuel.
Right. And what's happening after the race? Do we need to bring cash, card? What are our options? What are things that are happening after?
Yeah, we are elevating the post-race experience this year. Really excited to have some new things out there and new small businesses that are supporting being there. And so in turn, we want to support them too. So definitely bring cash and card and be ready to experience some of those offerings that are new this year. We have Dirty Gertie's taco stand. They will be there, and they'll have a breakfast taco option as well as lunch options for folks. They're fantastic. We'll have yoga and massage there with the post-race massages. John Duncan and the Autocrats, the Bluegrass Band, they're going to be out there bringing the vibe. And then we'll have some beer this year. It is a donation for beer, and that money is going to go straight to St. Baldrick's. We're trying to raise as much money for them as possible. So if you want to have a beer, plan to give some cash for that for a donation. We'll have Daily Cycle bike repair that will be there as well. If you don't see them first thing in the morning, look for them in the afternoon. And then new, we have partnered up with Athletic Upgrade, and they are going to have a recovery zone. Really super excited about this. It's state-of-the-art recovery zone, and they have a couple different options. It looks like a compression option and the cryotherapy that's localized red light therapy. They have hypervolt. So check them out and bring some cash for that. I believe they have like a $40 option and a $50 option, and come see what they have. They also are going to be offering a raffle as well. So you'll want to definitely visit with them to find out more about that.
Cool. And I hear we might have some merchandise for sale this year.
Lots of great stuff this year.
I hear that we'll have the vintage Asheville Off-Road Series shirts from previous year. Have this year's shirts available if we have any left. You've ordered some. Yay! I love them.
For a minute, I mean, they're so cool. Like the brown, I was like, I don't know about if people like the brown, but the print is amazing and it's not super thick on there. It's a really nice soft feel. So if you did not get one of these free or buy one online, you might want to just pop into the shop online and go ahead and get one of these so that you can make sure and get the size that you want, because this might be seriously your new favorite race tee. I'm not just saying that. They turned out really great.
Yeah, they did. I love the Bella canvas. They're super soft. They wear well. That's a perfect color for fall, and that green just really pops on the brown. It's a gorgeous shirt. So we'll have those if we have any left. And I hear you've ordered some new decals, some Off-Road Series decals. I'm excited to see those. And do you have one there?
I think it's in my car.
I bet they're all, they're or at the warehouse, one of the two. Okay.
I do have another thing though, the new hoodie, if you want to see that.
Brand new Run Local hoodies. Woohoo!
So they're awesome. So
love those.
Cool, nice, super cozy hoodie. Says Run Local. I know cyclists, you know, it doesn't say Bike Local, it says Run Local, but we have a lot more running events than we have biking events. So we'll take these with us all fall, but they turned out fantastic.
Yes. And we also will have with us the Free to Run t-shirts. There's a tan color and a gray color. And several people added those to their registration. And if you did that, stop by the merchandise tent and pick that up. We'll have those there for you.
And do we have any leftover mugs from last year? Off-Road Series that we're selling? I feel like we have some campfire mugs maybe, or
yes, I believe we do have some that are left over, so we'll have those there too. There are all kinds of good stuff. Definitely swing by the merchandise tent and see what we have.
Yeah, awesome. And we take cash or card, so
yes.
either way. Yep, awesome.
Yep. Okay, awards and prizes. Are we going to have an award ceremony this year?
We
What will that
will.
look like?
We will. We are going to do those. We always try to do the award ceremonies as quickly as possible. So it's really dependent on, are we filling up those award category groups? And when we get those sort of full or mostly full, that's when we will do the award ceremony. So for this one, it's a little hard to predict when that'll happen, but we will do those on site, and we'll have some Ride Kanuga day passes. We'll have some Sycamore cycles and Fleet Feet gift certificates. I'm going to show off, if you don't mind, the locally made pottery mug because they are gorgeous. This is what they look like. So nice. It's nice.
Beautiful.
And smooth. It's beautiful. And those are from Folk Wayfair Pottery. They did such a great job on these. It matches the shirt
Perfectly.
we want things to go together. So yeah, so those are great. And you can look online at the awards categories to see which categories get those mugs. And let's see, if you can't stay for the awards ceremony, we will have where you can pick those up starting Tuesday. I guess that would be the 20th after 3 p.m. So Tuesday after 3 at Fleet Feet Asheville, you can pick up your awards. If you want to have yours shipped and you win pottery, it is going to be a little more expensive to ship those because the packaging and the material costs more to ship them. So it'll probably be more like $15-20 for this race. So just keep that in mind if you end up winning and want to get it shipped.
All right. So we have the interactive event guide coming out that participants can look through for their course maps, their cue sheets, and all the important race day info. Anything else you can think of that they might need to know ahead of time?
I think the biggest thing is just pay attention, be aware and pay attention. Don't just follow the people in front of you, whether it's running, biking, whatever. And, we have volunteers, we've got police officers, we have people out on the course, but just pay attention, that things are open to traffic. So just, watch and be aware.
Okay. And photos, is there going to be someone taking photos on the race course? And I think I might have heard something about a contest.
Yeah, we wanted to spice things up a little bit this year. It's so fun to do these photo contests. And so we will have a photographer that's out on the bike course. And so they will be able to capture everybody that is cycling out on the bike. And so, you don't have to do anything crazy if you don't want to, but if you want to decorate your bike or, really get into it, we're just saying that, you usually get a little advantage if you do fun things like that. And so what are the prizes again for the contest?
So I actually have some laying here. We have some handmade custom gear medals.
Mm-hmm.
They're stained glass. They're really cool here.
Oh, those are awesome. Those are so
one.
Cool.
Here's another.
Yeah. So those are cool. Like in your rear view mirror or on your Christmas tree or hanging on your wall. Yeah, those are really cool.
Yes.
And do it.
And I think
3? Is it top 3?
We have 3. We do have 3. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
whatever that might look like. I mean, it could be serious face as you go by the photographer, just intense or fun or, whatever. If you know how to do a wheelie, do a wheelie. But we will vote on those on social media. We'll post up the best ones, vote on those. And then we will give those awards out later on. So once we get those photos ready, so be ready for that and have fun with it.
And I think that top winner also gets a free entry to the 2023 Asheville Off-Road Series.
Oh, yes.
So little extra motivation there.
Yes, for sure.
All right. And of course, we couldn't do these events without our partnerships with our sponsors, all the support that we get from our sponsors. And we're so grateful for those partnerships and their help and assistance. And who can we thank for the Asheville Off-Road Series?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned a lot of them during the podcast today, but some additional ones, a new one, Ken Wilson Ford came on board. And we were so appreciative of them being out there and being supportive of multi-sport races in our community. And then Asheville School, if you haven't met John Smith, he's quite the character. He usually comes out and brings an entourage of people. And they're supporting the events in our community too. So just wanted to mention those two. Great.
Okay. Anything else you can think of? I think we've covered pretty much everything.
It was a lot, but I think it was definitely the information people are going to need to have a stress-free day. So hopefully you got something out of it, and we can't wait to see you on September 17th at Packet Pickup or on the 18th, Sunday the 18th at the race.
Yes. So thank you for joining us for the 2022 Asheville Off-Road Series podcast.
Thanks, Amy.